We just want to thank you for taking out the time out your schedule to pursue this
Oh
interview.
no, it's all good. I appreciate y'all for interviewing me. Really do.
Most definitely, most definitely. So JBrown, what was your inspiration, or what inspired you to become a singer?
I have to say my inspiration. What would let? I would just say just my overall love for music. You know, for R&B and gospel. You know, it started in the church, so that's when my initial attraction to music came from. Was just basically singing in choirs and you know performing in talent shows. But that's what kind of sparked my interest in pursuing it. And once I realized that people enjoy listening to me, I said, well, maybe I can make a career out of this. So that's how it came about.
Nice. Okay. So your mother was a singer and was signed to Motown Records back in the day. As a youth, what was that experience like for you, being exposed to that?
Well, she technically she wasn't signed to Motown. People always say that like she was signed to Motown. I'm like, no, she wasn't signed. She was managed by Smokey Robinson.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
both her and my aunts. And they were about to get signed to Motown. However, my mom ended up pregnant with my older brother. Obviously, I didn't exist at the time, but she ended up pregnant with him, and then everything kind of went downhill in terms of the deal because you know, they were young, relatively young teenagers, and I guess that it just wasn't a good look for Berry Gordy. But my mom, she gave me inspiration as well too, but she never really pushed me to do music. You know, she never said, you know, you should go about pursuing music because of this or that. It was more so me just being around certain energy in terms of like, you know, being in the church or certain friends that would sing that kind of piqued my interest in wanting to pursue it. But my mom never really played a part in me, you know, deciding to become a singer.
Okay, interesting. And I came across where you sing the national anthem at the Detroit Pistons and Lions game, and you also performed for President Bill Clinton. How old were you, and what type of experience was that for you?
So the national anthem, I've done that quite a few times. So that's like that can be an overwhelming experience considering that, you know, there's a massive amount of people that present and, you know, you don't want to mess with the national anthem considering the history behind it. Not to say the history is good history, if you know what I'm alluding to in terms of the national anthem. But, you know, traditionally, you know, you don't want to mess it up. So that was an experience in itself. But in terms of the president of the United States, that was like a phenomenal experience because it was for a Black History program. And I sang, I believe it was Walk With Me. I think it was Walk With Me, Negro Spiritual. And, you know, Bill Clinton is a fan of like jazz and gospel. So he literally told me he almost shed a tear. And that right there was definitely a memorable experience because, you know, the president of the United States telling you something like that, that's just, it's not something that happens every day. So.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. That's big.
Yeah. So you have a new single out titled Vibe. And can you tell us a little bit about this song?
So Vibe is a groovy track that my team and I came up with. It's just something fun that not only that you know, mature folks or can listen to, but younger folks can listen to it as well. Families, you know, if you're at a nice gathering, a barbecue in particular, you got that feel good music. This is definitely that record for the summer. Something that people have been gravitating towards because I guess it's the feel of it. You know, it's something that people have always enjoyed that particular sound, but now that it's come back, it's kind of like, oh wow, you know, it's like Bruno Mars. Bruno Mars is bringing back that old school, you know, groovy type, you know, thing that he has going on. And there's a major lane for that. It just has been like kind of swept under the rug for so long. But now there's certain artists like Bruno Mars, myself, and other artists that are like bringing that sound back. So it was just a familiar sound that I wanted to bring back, something fun for people to enjoy. And you know, it's number 13 on the Billboard chart, so it's serving its purpose.
That's great because I've been checking you out for like the whole week since we knew we was gonna interview you. I was feeling it.
Oh, dope, man.
Dope.
For
real.
I appreciate that.
No problem. And you also have a sophomore EP coming out this summer. Can you tell us about that amazing project?
Yeah, definitely. So my sophomore EP, like my one I put out prior to this one, yeah, kind of like that old school feel because I'm a fan of old school music. But I'm not an old school artist. A lot of people say you have an old school sound. I'm like, nah, I just love R&B. So I sing whatever feels good. But this new project is going to be more of like like that mid 2000s R&B, you know, like Jagged Edge, 112, you know, like, you know, Drew Hill, even though they came out like the late 90s, but that maybe 2000s kind of sound, Tank. So it's a lot of heartbreak, a combination of a few things on this new EP, but it's definitely a one that I hope you guys support me on. And also, whoever else will be watching this video, hopefully they check it out. It'll be nice.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
Trust me, it's gonna be. I don't have a title yet, so if you guys have a title, you can help me out with that.
Self-titled, JBrown. Okay.
Yeah, that's the easy route. That's the easy route. I need something a little more, you know, because trust me, I was considering it. I was like, I can just JBrown. I'm like, nah, I need something that kind of stands out. Nothing too complex, but just something simple, straight to the point.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep. So as you just mentioned, your music has an old school feel and vibe to it, right? So however, it's relevant at the same time. Why did you choose to go into that direction?
Because I felt like it was something that's been missing for a while. And that's where it all started. You know, a lot of people, like, they have this new, I can't even refer to it as R&B. I don't even know what a lot of this stuff is out here. Some of it's really good, but things that I grew up on that I consider R&B is something that I've always wanted to put out there, something that I've always been a fan of, whether I was listening to it or singing it. So that's why I decided to go with the sound that I've been kind of flowing with for a few years now, because it's just something that I grew up on, something that has been familiar for quite a while. And I knew there was still a fan base for that, because a lot of people who say, oh, R&B no longer exists, well, now we're bringing it back. So it's kind of like, you can't say it doesn't exist anymore because it's now resurfaced. So I just knew it was a familiar sound that a lot of people would, you know, gravitate towards.
That's great. That's great. And I came across where you attended Grambling State University on a full academic scholarship. In terms of music,
and a baseball scholarship and a choir scholarship.
Wow, nice. Yeah. So in terms of music, how important was it for you to receive your education? Did they kind of relate, or you was sort of doing a different thing while you was in college?
Well, I mean, education is always key, you know, because you want to have that in the event that some people say you shouldn't refer to it as a backup plan, but let's be realistic here. You need a backup plan. I don't care what anyone says, you need one, you know? So education has always been near and dear to my heart. My parents were both educators and have a long list of educators in my family. So I knew that I had to go to school and finish my degree. And, you know, from there, I just felt like, you know, if I'm ever going to pursue music, I want to have something to fall back on in the event that, you know, you have these fluctuation points. But, you know, school is obviously important. You know, it helped me too, in a sense of like promote myself on a university campus, because I would do a lot of talent shows. And from there, people would gravitate towards me and gain popularity and pledge fraternities and all that stuff. But yeah, it was definitely worth it. I tell you that, everything, all of it.
Great. And I know you had a very interesting music journey, and you still have one, I'm sure. Would you like to share any inspiration or words of encouragement for up and coming inspired singers and musicians who's looking to, you know, be successful?
Yeah, for those who are, you know, planning on branching off, all the aspiring artists, musicians, I would just honestly say, as cliche as it may sound, you know, keep fighting a good fight and never take no for an answer. You know, there may be a few no's, but there's always people who will say yes. So if you believe in your dreams and you are progressively, you know, trying to figure out a way to make it, I would say continue on no matter what, because at the end of the day, it's your dream, you know, and if you're passionate about it, and if you believe in yourself, and if you find someone who believes in you, that's like the icing on the cake. But just always stay focused, you know, because at the end of the day, there's 1,000 of me's out there, 1,000 of yous, but you got to figure out a way to stand out amongst the crowd, you know. So just keep, you know, diligently, you know, progressing in your craft and stay hungry and humble, always.
Absolutely. Great advice. Great.
Yes,
Great.
Most definitely. Well, JBrown, this concludes our interview. Is there anything else that you would like to share?
You're checking this out. Follow me on Instagram. Check out my new single entitled Vibe, available on all downloadable platforms. You also can check out my EP, Forever Yours, and I'm dropping my new EP this summer. So y'all follow me, support me. I'll support y'all back. You know, support Black people. Let's rock.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Jen, it's been a
And
great.
thank you guys. And make sure y'all follow me, y'all too. And I'll follow y'all back. Let's stay in touch.
We own it. Absolutely.
All right,
We're
will
going to do
do.
that. And it's been great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking your time.
I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all be blessed and stay safe.
All right, you too.
You as
Thank
well.
Hold your head up high to the sky, so high as the day